Welcome back, everyone. In today's episode of Collections Are Built on Hope, we will be taking a look at some potential characters from The Mandalorian Season 3 that should be released in the Vintage Collection sooner rather than later. Collections Are Built on Hope is a series on the channel where we can share our thoughts about figures we either still need in the Vintage Collection or would like to see, so be sure to drop a like on this video and leave a comment down below about which characters from The Mandalorian Season 3 you think Hasbro should focus on and work quickly to add to our collections. And be sure to check out the previous videos where I go over characters from the first 4 episodes of Season 3. This season has quickly come and gone, but there were a number of amazing creatures, vehicles, and characters that would provide a variety of world-building possibilities for our shelves and displays. Sadly, TVC fans are still waiting for a number of characters and releases from the first 2 seasons, which only adds to the frustration in the community as time carries on. Hasbro claims that the limited budget, available resources, and Lucasfilm's secrecy surrounding new media affects the number of figures we see released in a year. While the secrecy of new characters may play a critical role in getting figures into our collections promptly, I would like to point out that Season 3 of The Mandalorian featured covert Mandos in the initial trailer 8 months ago. These characters were front and center in nearly all the promotional material, and furthermore, Hasbro already has the tooling to supply us these characters. The covert Mandalorians would be a simple repaint and kit bash of existing Death Watch, Din Djarin, Boba Fett, and other Beskar figures, paired with some new blasters and soft goods. I was almost certain Hasbro would take advantage of this and reveal a 4-pack while the series was dropping, which would have been excellent to do while the series is active and relevant. Playing catch up with the 8 to 10 month project window of design time, fabrication, and delivery is exhausting and leaves us feeling, well, a little apathetic by the time we get some of these characters. But with all that said, let's begin with the Remnant Mandalorians. These survivors would be another simple kit bash of existing assets that will require minimal new tooling, paint deco, and soft goods. The Remnant Mandalorians had some really cool designs overall, and I especially love the Super Battle Droid head that was used as shoulder armor. This is another simple but essential Season 3 figure that Hasbro should not sleep on. Moving on, we have Carson Teva, a character that was first introduced back in Season 2 of The Mandalorian. I wanted this X-Wing pilot for my collection back then, and after much more screen time during the season, I absolutely need this figure in my fleet and Mandalorian display. The New Republic pilot bar was a highlight of the series, and I hope we see more of it in the next season. Carson Teva is a must for the Vintage Collection, and the tooling for this figure could be a 2-for-1 if Hasbro ever considered releasing a Rebel Pilot 4-pack with Porkins from A New Hope. Speaking of pilots and a Delphi base, this next character was a wonderful surprise for Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Garazeb Aurelius, or better known as Zeb, is a personal favorite of mine from the animated series Rebels, and it was amazing to see this Lasat in live action. Here we see him sporting a New Republic blue pilot suit, and with the rumors of a Ghost HasLab in the near future, it would be wonderful if Hasbro could make the most out of the tooling and get us both the animated and live action looks. I think it's safe to say that Star Wars fans and collectors are fond of IG units. The short answer is yes, 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 yes. Seeing IG-11 rebuilt as a mech for Grogu was certainly a surprise and brought some incredible comic relief to the series. IG-12, as Grief Karga dubbed him, would be a very simple retool for Hasbro. We essentially would just need a new torso for our existing IG-11 to get this character into the line. It would be great if somehow Grogu was removable and not sculpted into the torso, possibly allowing for an included Anzellan accessory. Moving on, we had the Mandalorian Fleet Commander. Once again, there was no shortage of Mandalorian repaints and kit bash ideas for Hasbro to take advantage of this season. The Fleet Commander was recently announced for the larger 6-inch scale, and while this figure did not have an excessive amount of screen time, I would gladly add him to my collection, right alongside Casca Reeves and Axe Woves. Next up, we have the Imperial Super Commandos, who were first seen in the animated series Rebels, and it was definitely cool to see these Beskar troops make their way into live action. They were certainly a highlight of the show, and while I still prefer the Ralph McQuarrie helmet style from Rebels, the armor and overall look of the character is awesome. This will be a must-have figure and an army builder for any TVC fan. Moving on, we have another Imperial villain, the Praetorian Guard. These bright red guards offered protection for Moff Gideon on Mandalore and stepped up to the plate in battle against the infamous heavy infantry Mandalorian Paz Vizsla. I was shocked to see Paz fall in combat during this season, and now that we have him in the Vintage Collection, it is only proper that Hasbro brings us the Praetorian Guards. Additionally, if you take the time to examine their armor, the chest area is that of a First Order Stormtrooper and the forearms are from a standard original trilogy Stormtrooper. Hopefully this will allow for a shorter lead time on the production of this character. I really look forward to seeing these elite warriors make their way into our collections and shelf displays sooner rather than later. Moff Gideon was already a popular character with a strong presence in The Mandalorian, so of course Lucasfilm had to take it up a notch. The next generation Dark Trooper suit looks stunning and was instantly at the top of many TVC fans' wish list. I do not think Hasbro will sleep on getting this figure into the vintage collection, and so long as it comes carded with a soft goods cape, swappable head, and electro staff, I will be ready and waiting to add this one to my collection. Another exciting highlight during Season 3 of The Mandalorian was the appearance of Captain Pellaeon, Grand Admiral Thrawn's right-hand man in Legends. As the series continues to hark back to Heir of the Empire with each new season, I was personally very happy to see Pellaeon finally make his way into live action, after only hearing his voice teased during the Siege of Lothal and Rebels. And now that there is an amazing new officer sculpt in the Vintage Collection, this would be an easy addition to our Imperial ranks. So come on Hasbro, let's get this character into the line. And lastly, watch out Navarro, there's a new Marshal in town. And on that note, watch out Hasbro, because there's a simple repaint in your future. IG-11, the new Marshal of Navarro, would make an excellent and easy addition to our ever-growing Mandalorian collections. From what I can tell, this simple repaint would only require some new paint apps, along with a belt and holster. Hopefully this figure is on Hasbro radar, and will be pipelined sometime in the near future. I hope you've enjoyed this video and taking a look at some potential figures from Season 3 of The Mandalorian. Hopefully one day we'll see these characters make their way into our shelf displays, but until then remember that collections are built on hope. And don't forget to share your thoughts in the comments down below about what characters you would like to see from Season 3 of The Mandalorian. And be sure to drop a like on this video and subscribe if you're new to the channel. It really helps and is always greatly appreciated. Thanks everyone, and may the Force be with you.